Hi, I'm Danny with SecondSale.com, and today we are super excited to bring you a video filled with our 10 recommendations for fall books. Fall is the perfect time for reading. There's nothing better than cuddling up with a book and getting cozy, and today we have some great recommendations for you from several different genres, whether it's YA, fantasy, contemporary, or thriller. We do want to mention really quickly that, of course, all of these books have their own content warnings, and we really encourage you to look them up before you read a book. We're not going to share them ourselves because we don't want to make any spoilers. But with that, we'll get started. And we hope that if you enjoy any of these recommendations, you would check them out on our site, SecondSale.com, where we have millions of used and new books for you to choose from. And all of the books will be linked down in the description below. So if you go, you can just click and it'll take you right to that book's link on our website. So first we're going to start with some thrillers. Fall is definitely a great season to just really sit down and binge read a thriller, and we have two for you today. The first thriller is The Chestnut Man by Soren Sveistrup. This is a book that is recently made into a Netflix series, and so you can read the book and then go watch the series this fall. It takes place in the fall, and it has a lot of atmospheric writing and mood setting that makes it perfect to read during the autumn season. The plot of this book is that a Swedish government minister's daughter was kidnapped and killed a year ago, and the offender was caught and sent to prison, but her body was never found. And now, in present day, a serial killer is killing women and leaving chestnut men at the scene. And on these chestnut men is the fingerprint of the government minister's dead daughter. And so we follow two investigators as they try to uncover the mystery and see, is the daughter really dead, and try to stop this man from killing more people. It is very suspenseful. It takes place during the months of October, so it is perfect to read this fall. The next thriller is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is also a series. It is on HBO Max, so another good book that you can read and then watch the series. And this is a very dark thriller about a journalist who is sent to her hometown to investigate the murder of two girls. And while she's there trying to investigate the murder, she has to reconnect with her mother, who she has had a very rough childhood with. And as she digs into the history of the town, of these girls, and of her family, things start to come up. This is filled with so many good twists. It keeps you guessing right until the very last page, and it is very dark, which makes it perfect for the fall season. The next genre we're going to go through is fantasy, and fall is the perfect time for fantasy in our opinion. There's something about a magical setting with whimsical characters that just really fit into fall and make the perfect cozy vibe. The first book we're going to recommend for adult fantasy is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book follows a girl in 1700s France, Addie LaRue, who is warned against making deals with the gods that appear after dark. However, she ends up making a wish to free her from her very restrictive expectations of her town and her life, and she is granted this wish and granted eternal life. But it comes with a twist. No one is ever going to remember Addie, and so she's truly free in the fact that she's not tied down to anyone because she can't be. As soon as she leaves the room, all the people that she was with immediately forget about her. This is a beautiful, very lyrical style of writing, following Addie through the centuries as she goes about her new life and really just yearns for companionship. It is very heartwarming at parts, very heartbreaking at parts. The lyrical, magical style of it just makes it a perfect read for the fall season. Next is a great book if you're not a huge fantasy fan, but you are in love with Greek mythology, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. This book is very popular for a good reason. It is about the goddess Circe, who has appeared in Greek mythology, and she is banished to an island because of things that she has done. And it is really a very unique style of writing that Madeline Miller has in this book. It doesn't follow a typical plot build up. It's much more like the Greek ballads, where there's events and it's kind of a rolling timeline as you're following Circe through these adventures, and it is a very beautiful work. It is also perfect for fall because Circe is a witch and she's spending a lot of time gathering herbs, concocting spells, and it really ties in well with the fall season while giving you that Greek mythology that you're craving. The next book is perfect if you are wanting something spooky in your fall TBR, and that is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. In this book, we follow our main character, Noemi, and she is a socialite in 1950s Mexico City, but she becomes concerned when she receives some letters from her cousin who has just married a man and moved into his remote mansion with his family. And these letters do not seem like her cousin is in a very good mental state, and she's asking for help. And so Noemi decides to go to this house to see what's going on. And this is a very creepy, gothic, old, mysterious house, and the family is very suspicious, and Noemi is trying to figure out what is going on with her cousin and save them both from whatever monstrosities this house has in store for them. It has that perfect creepy mansion vibe that a lot of people are just craving during the fall, and so if that is you, we highly recommend that you check out Mexican Gothic. And these next two books are a little subgenre within adult fantasy that we love and is very popular right now, which is dark academia. And there is no better time for dark academia than the fall. Something about going to school and the studying with the darkness with a little magic mixed in makes it so perfect for fall. And the first of these books is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. In this book, we follow our main character, Alex Stern, as she is inducted into one of 9 secret societies within the Yale campus that are involved in dark magic. And she is unique because she can see ghosts. And she is charged with solving a murder that has recently happened on campus that is suspected to maybe tie in with one of the houses. And this is an amazing book that is fantasy, dark academia, and a murder mystery all wrapped into one, and it is the perfect vibe for the fall. The next book is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is also a dark academia book, and this follows our main character as she attends a magical school. But this magical school is not like the ones that you have read in other books. There are no teachers, and the students are left to fend on their own, where they will either graduate or die. And the setting is very dangerous. There is a lot of magic, a lot of monsters. And if that sounds intriguing to you, we encourage you to pick up A Deadly Education this fall. Next, we have a contemporary fiction recommendation, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This book follows 2 mothers, Elena and Mia. Elena has lived in the idyllic town of Shaker Heights for a long time. She's very established in the social circles, and she has some very strong beliefs that as long as she follows all of the rules, everything will be perfect with her family. Mia moves into the neighborhood with her daughter, and their children soon interact with each other, and Mia is the exact opposite and has some very unconventional beliefs compared to what is accepted in Shaker Heights. These 2 families start to really butt heads when a controversy happens in the town where 2 parents are trying to adopt a baby, and the mother of the baby had surrendered this baby to the fire station when she was in a very poor mental state, and now she has been trying to locate her baby and could not, and now that she realizes that her baby's being adopted by these 2 parents, she wants her baby back. And this argument tears the town apart, whether or not the mother should have the baby back or if the adopted parent should have the baby. And this argument is really the center of the unraveling of the beliefs and systems of these two families. It is an excellent read and something great to curl up with this fall. Lastly, we have 2 YA fantasy recommendations, and the first of these is the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. It is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Now, these exist in a world that Leigh Bardugo has made in her YA series, the Grishaverse, but these 2 do not need to be read with the rest, and they can be read on their own, and many people have done so. But these take place in a fictional city known as Ketterdam, and this is a very rainy, grungy city where a lot of organized crime takes place, and our main characters are a part of a gang, and they embark on adventure to try to get fortune, try to get out of arrangements that they have been forced into, and ultimately the relationships between characters in this book are what really make it shine, and it is incredible to watch them grow. But the setting of Ketterdam, with its really dark, sneaky secrets and everyone sneaking around trying to get a one-up on each other, really makes it a perfect fall vibe. And the last book we have for you is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This YA fantasy is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet that takes place in 1920s. Our 2 main characters, Roma and Juliet, are members of 2 rival gangs. Roma and Juliet have some bad blood between them, and they do not want to see each other, but they end up having to work together to solve this mystery that is resulting in the horrific deaths of people on both sides of the gang. There is this sickness going around Shanghai where people start to spontaneously claw their own throats out. And so Roma and Juliet have to team up and figure out what is going on in order to save both of their gangs, but not get caught working together while doing it. This is an excellent book. The sequel is coming out this fall. The gang setting of the underground of 1920s Shanghai is very seedy and makes it a perfect fall read. That is the end of our recommendations. We hope that you really enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time. Goodbye!